Welcome back everyone, my name is Sundown, and today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video back on Black Ops 3 with another tips and tricks video actually. And today is going to be how to improve your KDA ratio, or your KDR ratio, my bad, and to stay alive more in the actual game. And I've been getting a lot of requests from this from people that I've been playing with. They just are wondering, how I'm not dying as much and still being able to pull out a huge game like this. And so right now are actually watching a very good example of it. I'm playing Domination on Redwood, and I'm actually end up going 51-9, and this just kind of shows you guys, how I play and the best play to play if you guys want to, really go for a higher KD or a higher kill death ratio in order to stay alive longer. So without further ado, I hope you guys do enjoy the video. I know last video with the Haymaker class, we hit 150 views and it's still going up, which is amazing. So if we could go ahead and do that again, or hit that like button, let's see if we can go for 5 likes. I know we can break it. You guys are absolutely fantastic. But besides that, let's get straight into the video. Now the first tip I actually do have for you guys today is stick to the outsides. Now I know this is more of a situational type of thing and you don't necessarily have to do it all the time. However, it is very, very helpful, and I typically do this whenever I'm doing my outside, or whenever I'm doing like my opening route. We just spawned in and I have to go ahead and see if I can get like the best advantage onto it, is actually stick to the outside. So there's actually the way that Black Ops 3 is set up is every map has a 3-lane system. There's a middle system, or a middle lane, a right lane, and a left lane. And you always want to be typically sticking to the left and right, because you can actually, in most maps, you're able to shoot into the middle from the actual side. So now imagine that if I actually, went into the middle, there's going to be pretty much like 3 people right there instantly honed in on you. And if I'm going into that situation, I already know that I'm automatically going to die. However, if I'm on the outside, I'm able to get a good advantage on them, and I'll be able to probably able to actually, get behind them and have an easier chance of getting kills, and they won't necessarily see me as much. However, I do want to warn you guys that there will be occasionally some people that do actually take the outside routes, so just be careful when you're actually doing your opening route or whenever you're taking those routes instead of the middle. Now the next tip I actually do have for you guys is very important, and I would definitely not overlook, and that is do not rush in and to play passive. Now typically with a Call of Duty game, new players will tend to try and rush in because they do know it's an arcade FPS, meaning that there's going to be a lot of action in a very condensed area, and that's where you can be wrong actually. Now the thing is that with this game, it is very, it's very action-based and it's very fast-paced. However, if you're trying to go for a very high, kill-death ratio, or you're trying to not die as much in your games, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to be rushing in. You'll notice in this gameplay, actually, I'm typically hovering around B, or I'm not necessarily where most people are going to be, because if I was to rush in or be in the middle of the actual map and on B and trying to get in people's face all the time, I would be dying a lot more. If you notice the way I'm playing it, I'm usually on the outsides watching over B, or else I'm in the building trying to maneuver so that way I can kind of get the best advantage on people. And that is extremely important. Just because it's a Call of Duty game does not necessarily mean that you have to be rushing in 24/7 in order to, get good or get a high amount of kills. You'll see a lot that, I'm just kind of working the map in my favor and just playing on the outsides and not necessarily, having to rush into them all the time in order to get high kills. So definitely take this into consideration whenever you're playing it. And the more you play, you'll actually kind of be able to notify, or you'll just kind of understand a little bit more how to use the map a little bit more to your advantage, and how to actually play a little bit better, and that all comes with time. So do not expect this to happen on your very first game. So the third tip is actually really interesting because it goes very well with my second tip, and that is to let the enemies push you. Now what I mean by this is that you don't necessarily want to be sitting in spawn, or something dumb like that, and be like, okay, I'm waiting for you guys, can you guys kind of hurry up, I'm kind of waiting here for you. But what I mean by that is you want to stay in high traffic areas, but not necessarily where they are going to be expecting you to be at. So you'll notice a lot of times that I'm typically already aimed in, and I'm waiting for them to just push that one corner where I know that a lot of people are typically going to be playing, or they're going to be going to. And again, this is just gonna kind of happen over time, where you're going to see these trends where people are naturally going to be. However, a good tip is that they're typically going to be in the middle. So imagine that I am sitting back and I'm watching a position and someone comes around the corner. It's going to be easier for me to shoot him quicker than he's going to be able to shoot me. Now the reason for that is because I'm already going to be pre-aiming at that one specific area. My sight's already going to be up, and all I have to do is just snap to that person. Now for the other guy, he's going to be running around a corner, so he's going to be constantly moving his mouse around. 2, it's going to take him longer for me to, or for him to, you know, realize that I'm actually there. And 3rd, it's going to take him a long time to be able to put his gun up and finally be able to aim on me. So that's 3 things he has to do instead of me only having to perform one thing that I needed to do. And so this is just really, really helpful, and you just kind of want them to push you. So again, I do suggest you just kind of stay on the outside, or where you know you necessarily won't be shot all the time. Stay back, play passive, don't rush in, and let them push you, because I guarantee when you stay back and you know you play like I'm playing in this gameplay, you'll notice quickly that you know you get a lot more kills and a lot less deaths, and it's very, very helpful. Now, I'm constantly getting asked, you know, from different people and from friends, you know, what gun are you using? What gun are you using that's so overpowered that I'm able to, you know, get all these different kills and I'm able to stay alive? And then when I tell them, they're like, wait, you use that gun? That gun's horrible. The thing is, guys, is that my 5th tip, or no, my 4th tip, is that sometimes you just gotta use the guns that you're familiar with. Now, I realize that, you know, the XR2 isn't necessarily good for some people. However, I love that gun. I'm familiar with that gun. I know how to use it, and that's why I'm so good with it. So you don't necessarily have to be using these super overpowered guns or stuff like this just in order to get good KDs. Use guns that you are familiar with, because you know the inside and out of, and you know how that gun works and how it operates, and that's your best playstyle with that gun. You don't have to be using some gun that some guy that dropped 4 quad or a quad nuclear on. You don't have to be using that specific gun. Now, if you know that gun and you're familiar with it, then use it. You don't necessarily have to be using one specific gun in order to, use or get a good KD. Finally, my last tip for you guys is, honestly, don't try to imitate someone else. I know you've done it. I know I've done it. We found that one really, really good person that's just amazing at the game, and you wanted to be exactly like them. I don't blame you. I've done it before. My example is Nate Gibson. He's an extremely good player, and I have to give him mad props, because every other day he uploads insane nuclear videos, or Moabs and stuff like that, where he just uploads this amazing gameplay. And of course, me being me and my dumb, stupid stage back in Black Ops 2, before I even had my YouTube channel, I wanted to be exactly like him. I wanted to get those amazing gameplays. So what did I do? I changed my sensitivity so that way, it was exactly like him. I changed my classes so that way it was exactly like him, and it got me nowhere. If I was to set my limitations to being exactly like him, there's no way I would ever possibly be better than him. Now, if I changed my own stuff and started doing things that I like, that's when I noticed that a lot of my gameplays were getting a lot better. A lot of my, being able to play better, and I was able to improve myself and get a lot better. And by just me restricting it to specifically what he had, it wasn't getting me anywhere. So I just have to say, guys, there's no reason to try and imitate someone else. Don't stress over, not being as high of a KD as another player, because at the end of the day, the game is mainly meant for fun, and you don't want to be stressing over, your kill death ratio or, stuff like that. However, I will admit that it is really, really fun and amazing to see that 51-9, that 51-9 gameplay. It does feel amazing, and that's why I wanted to share this with you guys. But at the end of the day, just don't try to imitate someone else, because you'll never be better than them if you don't, experiment. And that's my final tip. So just go ahead and quickly summarize all of the tips that I gave you guys. Is stick to the outsides, play passive, do not rush in, let them push you, use guns that you are familiar with, and of course, do not try to imitate someone else. So these tips can all, just combine. These are the things that I typically found in my gameplays that, I typically do. And of course, it might not work for you. It might be, your gameplay style is completely different from me. And that's completely different from you guys, my bad. But, at the end of the day, it's just tips that I have and I use, and I wanted to kind of share with you guys. And I hope you guys did enjoy. Now, my previous Haymaker class best setup actually got 150 views and is still climbing, so I really hope you guys did enjoy this video, and you guys seem to really be enjoying these tips and tricks and things that I kind of give out to you guys to improve your play styles. And so far, from the sounds of it, it's been working, so that's definitely what I like to hear. If you guys can go ahead and just tell me down in the comment section below, that makes my absolute day. And if you did enjoy the video and you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will be uploading videos every other day. Besides that, guys, I hope you all did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out, guys.